Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Peary as The Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. And now let's visit our friend, the great Gildersleeve, as he prepares to have breakfast this morning with his niece and nephew, Marjorie and Leroy.
Good morning, Marjorie, my dear.
Hello.
Good morning, Leroy.
Happy George Washington's birthday, Unc.
If what? Oh, yes, of course. Today's the 22nd. Same to you, Leroy.
Say, Bertie fixed something special for breakfast just because it's a holiday, Uncle Mort, so be sure and notice it.
Oh, you can't help noticing her special fixes, Marjorie. You weren't here for dinner on St. Valentine's Day, but she served the liver in the shape of a heart.
Yeah, and on Lincoln's birthday, she piled the bacon and toast up like a log cabin.
Yeah.
Yes, but she takes such pains to make everything look so appropriate. I think she's coming now.
Oh, yes.
Morning, everybody.
Well, good morning, Bertie. What's this? No prunes for breakfast?
No, sir, I cannot tell a lie. Them's cherries.
Oh, well, I see. I suppose you'll bring in little hatchets to break the eggs.
No, sir, this morning we having a Lexington omelet.
Lexington omelet? What's that?
It's the kind you don't put on the fire till you see the whites of the egg. It's a sort of revolutionary dish.
Oh, yeah. Well, sounds very good for the Constitution. Do you get it?
Yes, sir. Here's your napkin.
Oh, how nice. A red napkin for Leroy, a white one for Uncle Mort, and a blue one for me.
Gee, Bertie, you certainly got the spirit of 76 today. I bet you baked a cake in the shape of Mount Vernon.
No, I don't seem to be able to do that, so I made a Baltimore cake.
Why Baltimore, Bertie?
'Cause that's the closest I could get to Washington. Doggone it, I don't see how I think all them things to you.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad we aren't going to have a tea party today. You could fix a Boston cream pie for me.
Oh, Miss Gildersleeve, now you're having fun with me.
Oh, no.
Now, you folks go ahead, and I'll be right back with the cooked oats a la Paul Revere.
Yes, Paul Revere.
Jeepers, I hope she don't come out riding a horse with a powdered wig.
Yes.
Sam, do you know what Paul Revere said when he finished his ride?
No, what'd he say?
Whoa! I know it's corny, but everybody bites.
Yeah.
Oh, stop, Leroy. I think it's terribly nice of Bertie to do all these things.
Yes, Leroy. I don't know of a better way of digesting your history than eating it. Oh, that reminds me. Did you go down and see the dentist yesterday about your loose tooth, Leroy? Well, did you, young man?
Who, me?
Well, seeing I'm not talking to myself and Marjorie isn't a young man named Leroy, yes, I meant you.
Oh, I see.
Well, did you?
Did I what, Uncle Throckmorton?
Yep. Did you see the dentist yesterday?
The dentist? Oh, you mean Dr. Cottam?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw him.
Well, what'd he say?
He said hello.
You? I knew he'd say hello. What did he say should be done about your tooth?
Oh, he said absolutely nothing.
That's strange. I thought it was ready to be pulled. Leroy, are you sure that young man, where are you going?
Oh, I thought I'd go for a walk.
Before you've eaten breakfast?
Come back here, Leroy. Now tell me, did you go to Dr. Cottam's office yesterday?
Who, me?
Let's not go through that routine again. Now, did you or didn't you?
Well, I guess I didn't.
But, Leroy, you said you did, and you said there was absolutely nothing to be done.
I did not. Uncle Mort asked me if I saw him. Well, I did on the street, and he said hello to me. And I never said that he said there was absolutely nothing to be done. Unc said, what else did he say? And I said absolutely nothing. And that's just what he did. He said absolutely nothing.
Now, see here, Leroy. You stop trying to deceive me. That was just as bad as telling a deliberate falsehood. And on George Washington's birthday, too. He wouldn't have done a thing like that.
No. Really, Leroy, I don't know where you pick up such bad habits.
Goodness knows I've tried hard enough to set you a good example.
Well, how about last week when you told the cashier at the movies I wasn't 12 yet, so you'd only have to pay a dime?
Well, that was, sometimes even I need to be reminded.
I'll remember that, Unc.
All right. And also remember that it always pays to tell the truth.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but there's a gentleman here to see you.
Oh, a gentleman?
Well, not exactly a gentleman. It's a policeman.
A policeman? I can't imagine what in the world one of those dumb flat feet was. Well, hello, officer. What can I do for you?
Excuse me for disturbing your breakfast, but do you know who owns that car that's been parked in front of your house all night?
The car in front of this house? Well, no, I can't imagine.
You mean out there? Why, Uncle Mort, that's yours.
It is? Oh, well, thank you for telling me, my boy. Yeah, I guess it's mine, officer.
Don't you know it's against the law to leave a car parked in the streets all night, mister?
Oh, I know. I never heard of such a law.
But, Uncle George,
Yes.
Uncle Mort.
Yeah?
Only last week you warned me about leaving the car out.
Oh, did I, Marjorie?
Uh-huh.
By George. George. That's right, my dear. It just slipped my mind, officer. I won't forget it again.
I'll say you won't, not after you pay a fine in traffic court. Just so you won't forget to show up, here's a summons. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Well, what were we talking about?
You were saying it always pays to tell the truth.
Oh, yes. Now, furthermore, Leroy.
Uncle Mort,
Yes, Leroy?
Mr. Finch is here.
Oh, yes. Come right in, Oscar.
I hurried as fast as I could, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Did you bring all the books? Good. Set them down right here on the desk.
There we are. You know, ever since you called me, I've been wondering why you want the Forrester estate accounts brought here on Sunday.
It's Judge Hooker. He runs the probate court, and I have to account to him for Leroy and Marjorie's estate. And so he likes to snap the whip every so often.
Oh, yes, I've met the judge. He's quite a whippersnapper.
Yes. Oscar, he found out about the estate taking over Quiggs' drugstore, and he phoned a little while ago that he's coming over to question me about it.
Oh, now I see why you wanted the books.
Say, how did we do during the last month?
Leroy, let me handle this. How did we do, Oscar?
Oh, much better. We only lost $213.
Oh.
Is that considered good?
Oh, that's a decided improvement over the month before, when we lost $378.
Oh, yeah.
If this keeps up, maybe we'll get out of the red and be in the pink.
Yeah, I wish we never got mixed up with that drugstore. It's getting to be such a headache, it'll soon start to break even just from the aspirin I buy there.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, I hate to say I told you so.
Yeah, well, then don't. There's a profit, you're a total loss. I never wanted to operate that cut-rate medicine market in the first place, and you know that.
Say, Uncle Mort, how did we get into the pharmacy business anyhow?
The estate owns the building, Leroy. We rented the store to Mr. Quiggs, but he spent more time trying to train his cat to do tricks than he did taking care of his business. Finally, the cat got so good and business got so bad that he took the cat to Hollywood for a career, and we took the drugstore for the rent.
Gee, does that mean I can have all the banana splits I want?
It does not, young man. You think banana splits grow on trees? I have to account to Judge Hooker for every penny.
Well, I thought you were the executioner of our estate, Unc.
It's executor, Leroy. An executioner is a man who kills off. Oh, that's what Judge Hooker will accuse me of doing.
Now, don't you worry, Mr. Gildersleeve. The profits you made for the rest of the estate are far greater than any loss incurred at the drugstore.
Yes, but that won't satisfy old Droop Snoot.
Droop Snoot?
Well, little pet name I have for Judge Hooker, Leroy. Skip it. Well, it's a good thing you're here, Oscar. You can explain everything to him.
Oh, I don't think I'd be of any help, Mr. Gildersleeve.
No, why not?
Oh, the judge doesn't like me very much. So if he's coming, I'd better go.
Wait a minute. What's wrong between you and Judge Hooker?
Well, when he ran for re-election last time, it just so happened that I was president of the Get the Hook for Hooker Club. Well, goodbye.
All right, Gildersleeve, now out with it. What's a big pill like you doing in the drugstore business?
Well, it's like this, Hooker. Leroy, don't you want to run along outside while I talk to the judge?
No, let the boy stay. After all, this concerns him, too. Sit down, Leroy.
Thanks, Judge. Say, Unc, can I call him by your pet name?
No. Quiet, Leroy.
Yes, and don't interrupt, my boy. This is just the same as a court hearing.
Court hearing? It is?
Raise your right hand, Unc. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you?
Sit down, Leroy. Now, look here, Judge. Can't we do this some other time?
No, I'm too busy these days. Even have to work on George Washington's birthday. Well, speak up, Gildersleeve.
Well, it's like this, Hooker, old pal.
Now, cut out the old pal business, Gildersleeve. This is official.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. The estate had a wonderful chance to pick up this business for practically nothing.
I see. Was it in good shape when you took it over?
Well, it was a going concern.
But Uncle Mort, would George have said that?
George? What George? Oh, yes, that George. If I get you, Leroy, Well, to be frank, Judge, it had been a going concern, but by the time we got it, it had went.
Well, how did you happen to take it over in the first place?
Well, it was this way. Leroy, are you sure you don't want to go out for a walk or something?
Jeepers, no, I don't want to go out for a walk or anything. I figure I'll have more fun here.
Yes, so I'm figuring, too. Well, Your Honor, we were dragged into this affair by a trained cat.
What did he do? Sell it to you?
Yep. No, he didn't sell it to me, you little know.
Little know what, Gildersleeve?
Oh, you little know what I was going to say, Judge.
Now, get going. Come on, get going.
Yes, all right, Judge. The former owner of this pharmacy, the former owner of this pharmacy, the former owner of this pharmacy neglected his business and fell so far back in his rent that one day we found ourselves in the bicarbonate of ice cream soda business.
Well, how's it been doing?
Oh, business is a good deal better now than at first.
Yeah, Uncle Mort. Tell the judge how much more money you didn't lose this month than you did last.
What's this? Losing money.
Oh.
You have no business risking the estate's funds like this, Gildersleeve. I want you to get rid of that place at once, or I'm going to get rid of you as executor faster than that. Do it quickly, Gildersleeve. Goodbye.
Gee, Unc, this looks serious.
Yes, you don't realize how serious it is, Leroy. I've been trying to sell that place for months, but I can't get a decent offer.
Why not?
Because right now, pharmacies are a drug on the market.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a moment. Meantime, I think you'll all agree it's always mighty helpful to have a good reputation. Well, that's certainly true of Parquet margarine, the delicious margarine made by Kraft. Lots of people first tried Parquet margarine because it's made by Kraft. And just about everybody knows Kraft's reputation for wholesome, fine-tasting foods. You see, people figure that since Miracle Whip and the other Kraft products are outstandingly good, Parquet margarine must be mighty good, too. But what makes people keep right on using Parquet margarine is its delicious, appetizing flavor that makes it taste so good, spread on bread or toast or rolls. Yes, and that goes for cooking, too. Parquet margarine is a real flavor shortening for baking. And you'll like it for pan frying because it doesn't spatter or stick to the pan. And remember, Parquet margarine is a wholesome, nourishing energy food. And besides that, every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. So why not find out how good margarine can be by trying delicious Parquet margarine tomorrow? Remember, ask for Parquet, Parkay. Parquet, made by Kraft. Now back to the great Gildersleeve. It's Monday morning, and Uncle Mort is no closer to finding a buyer for the drugstore than he was yesterday.
Good morning, Uncle. Have a nice rest?
I had no rest, my dear. I tossed and turned like a scow in a storm. And I finally dropped off to sleep at about 6 o'clock and had a nasty nightmare in Technicolor.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes. All I can remember about it was that Judge Hooker was crossing the Delaware to buy a trained cat at a Hollywood drugstore, and I was doing the rowing.
Oh, you take things too much to heart, Uncle.
Yeah.
Now forget about business for a while and relax.
I wish I could, but I'm all strung up like a zither. Maybe today I can get a deal started for that high-priced cut-rate drugstore. If I could get the judge off my neck and Leroy out of my graying hair.
What's Leroy got to do with it, Uncle?
Well, you remember that Washington's birthday lecture about truth I gave him yesterday?
Oh, yes.
Well, he's appointed himself my personal censor.
Oh.
It's rather inconvenient when you're discussing business. And if I'm to get rid of that prescription parlor, well, sometimes it's going to be necessary to...
Morning, Marjorie. Morning, Uncle Mort. What are we going to do today?
Leroy, I don't know what I'm going to do, but you're going to school, aren't you?
Oh, no. Today's a holiday, too. No school on Monday when Washington's birthday falls on Sunday. Hooray!
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Leroy, why don't you go to a nice movie today, huh? Several movies. I'll give you the price.
Oh, no. I want to go down to the drugstore with you. I figured out a way to save a lot of money.
How, Leroy?
Well, I can work there after school on Saturdays as a soda jerker. I bet I'd make a swell banana splitter. I could sell a lot of bananas.
No, Leroy. We're trying to sell the whole thing at once, not one banana at a time. You better go to the movies if you know what's good for me.
But, Uncle Mort, why don't you get the city drug company to buy it? They own most all the other drugstores in town.
Yeah, that's just it. They're too darn independent. I went to see the manager, and he said he'd take it up with the board of directors. You know, a big business brush-off.
But, Uncle, don't you know? The city drug company is owned by the Summerfield Investment Corporation, and that's controlled by Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell.
Twitchell? I thought that old greyhound owned the bus line.
She does. Also, the Twitchell Steam Laundry, the Merchants National Bank, and 4 or 5 apartment houses.
Well, I'd underestimated Mrs. Twitchell.
Gee, are you going to sell her the drugstore, Unc?
I don't underestimate her that much, Leroy.
But somebody sold her all those other things.
Yeah.
Yes, they did, Uncle. Oh, I know. She'll be over at Red Cross headquarters this morning. Why don't you drive me down now and just sort of casually get into conversation with her?
I don't think it'll do any good.
Oh, go on. You've got a way with the ladies, Uncle.
Yeah, if I have, then she's no lady. I've just met her 3 times, and we already hate each other as if we'd been friends all our lives.
Oh, but it won't do any harm to try.
Huh?
Besides, I need a ride down there.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to a movie.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but there's a gentleman here to see you.
Oh, great jumping jeeps. I forgot to put the car in the garage again last night. You hold him there, Bertie, while we sneak out to the back and drive away.
But gee whiz, Unc, George Washington never did a thing like that.
George Washington never got a traffic ticket either, Leroy. Come on.
Wait a minute, Mr. Gildersleeve. This ain't no police.
Oh, he isn't? Oh, well, in that case, I was only joking, Leroy. Yeah.
You were?
Why, of course. I wouldn't do a thing like that on a legal holiday after George Washington's birthday, would I? Well, I wouldn't. Bring the man in, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, did he say who he was?
He said he's from the city and about the drugstore and supposed to find out how much everything in it is worth.
Oh, wait a minute, Bertie. Don't let him in. He must be from the assessor's office. I can't see him now.
Well, why not, Uncle Moore?
He'll ask a lot of questions I don't feel right about answering with certain people around here. Bertie, you tell him that I've gone.
Yes, sir.
But Uncle Mort, you told me yesterday that we should always tell the truth.
That's right, Leroy.
But we aren't gone.
We will be by the time Bertie gets to the front door. Come on, children. We're sneaking out the back way.
Take a look at you before we go in to meet Mrs. Twitchell, Uncle Mort. Now, don't be nervous.
I'm not a bit nervous, Marjorie. Maybe I'd better throw away my cigar. Now, what did I do with that cigar?
You threw it away.
What? Oh, yes. Now, let's not get excited. How do I look, Marjorie?
Oh, just fine. My, but you're a handsome man.
Wait a minute, Marjorie. Remember what Uncle Mort said about telling the truth.
What?
But I really think so, Leroy. Now, hold still, Uncle, while I pull the thread.
Yeah?
There. You're a slick-looking smoothie, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, you mean you are, my dear.
Honest, I never saw 2 more active members of the I'll Scratch Your Back if you'll do the same for me society. How about saying something nice to me for a change?
All right, Leroy. Goodbye and enjoy yourself at the movie.
Okay, see you later. So long, Marge.
Goodbye. Well, maybe I'll be able to speak freely now. Ever since I talked against fibs and little white lies, Leroy has been an impediment in my speech.
Well, let's go in now. And remember, just sort of get into conversation with her casually and bring the subject of drugstores up in a very offhand manner.
Offhand, all right. They say it's lucky that we're meeting her here in the Red Cross Center in case I have any trouble with the old battle axe.
Oh, don't think of it. Come on in now.
Yeah, all right. Keep your fingers crossed, TP.
Oh, hello, Edie. Hi, Henrietta.
Oh,
I'll be right
hello.
there to help you, Ruth. Oh, Mrs. Twitchell. Oh, it's so nice seeing you again.
Oh, how do, my dear?
Well, goodbye, Uncle Mort. Thank you ever so much for bringing me down. Oh, by the way, you know Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell, don't you, Uncle Mort?
Oh, yes, of course. How are you this lovely morning, Mrs. Twitchell?
Fine.
It's a mighty curious thing, Mrs. Twitchell, but I just discovered that we're business rivals.
I suppose you're talking about my laundry. What are you doing? Taking in washing?
No, nothing like that. Just a drugstore.
Oh, drugstore.
Oh, yes, you know, a place where they sell postage stamps, sandwiches, and once in a while a bottle of fly spray.
I am aware of drugstores, Mr. Gildersleeve. I just don't happen to remember that I own any.
Well, think of that, Marjorie. Mrs. Twitchell has so many drugstores, she doesn't know she owns any.
Oh, well, I think my uncle meant the city drug chain, Mrs. Twitchell.
Oh, yes, that, I see. Well, you...
Excuse me, Uncle Mort. Can I see you a second? You forgot to give me the dough for the show.
Oh, yeah, well, just as soon as I'm finished, Leroy. As I was saying, Mrs. Twitchell, we have acquired the ownership of Quigg's Drugstore. And while it's not what you might call real competition at present, we're considering branching out, and we may soon give you a run for your money.
Indeed.
Yes. We've got plans to put a drugstore on every corner downtown.
Unc, remember George Washington?
George Washington?
Yes. We're going to call them the George Washington drugstores.
Oh, Uncle.
Yes. However, Mrs. Twitchell, we might consider selling out, since we have so many other interests.
That is a very good idea, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, do you think so?
Yes, indeed. I had so many other interests myself. I sold all my drugstores to a New York chain last month. Goodbye.
Oh, this is one of my bad days. Oh, Bertie.
Oh, you back home already, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes, now maybe I'll get a little peace and quiet for a while.
Then Leroy, he ain't with you, huh?
No, he's gone to see a movie. I always enjoy the movie show Leroy sees. I can rest so nicely while he's there.
Excuse me for saying so, Mr. Gildersleeve, but you seem to be acting kind of skitterish lately.
Skitterish? Oh, you mean nervous.
Well, yes, if you prefer your language without any flavor to it.
I suppose I have been a bit jumpy. Leroy has been trying to make another George Washington out of me, and I've been telling the truth until I'm red, white, and blue in the face.
Well, what you need is a little rest.
Yeah, that's right. And thank goodness you got rid of that tax assessor.
Oh, but Mr. Gildersleeve...
Can you imagine what a tax bill I'd have with Leroy around to gum up the works?
Shh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Why should I shh, Mr. Gildersleeve? There's nothing to hear me here, is there?
Yes, that supper man. He's right in the living room.
The who?
I couldn't get rid of him.
Oh, sometimes I'd like to be a hermit if I could find a nice warm cave. All right, Bertie, it isn't your fault. Well, I didn't know anybody was waiting for me. How do you do, sir?
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yeah, that's me.
My name is Showers, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'm from the city.
Oh, yes, the maid told me. You want to get a valuation on that drugstore we own.
That's right. I've been down there several times and never could catch you in, so I came out here. Hope you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Pay your taxes and help smash the X's. That's my slogan. Suppose we go down to the drugstore now so you can get a small idea of what to assess us. Have you got a car?
Oh, yes, but I'm saving rubber, so I left it home. You think that's a good idea?
Oh, splendid idea. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to leave mine home, too. Come on, we'll walk.
Well, I didn't realize it was so far down here.
Neither did I. Remind me to treat you to a corn plaster. Well, let's get started. Just haul out your notebook and shoot the questions to me.
All right. Suppose we begin with those neon signs outside, the ones that read Quig's Open All-Night Pharmacy. What are they worth?
Oh, about $25, $20, $15. For the both of them, of course.
They look like they cost a lot more.
Yeah, that's true. But they haven't much resale value. Where are you going to find anyone named Quiggs who is not only a druggist but also stays up nights? Yeah. No, on second thought, I don't think they're worth more than $10.
Signs, $10.
Yeah.
Now, inside, how about the soda fountain? That looks very nice and new.
Oh, the seats are pretty worn. I'll show you what I mean. Young man, I wonder if you mind standing up a minute. Oh, Leroy, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm having a double nut chocolate sundae with whipped cream and lemon phosphate to wash it down.
What's the matter? Are you getting tired of banana splits?
Yeah, I've had 3 of them already.
You?
What are you and that man doing, Unc?
Nothing that need concern you, my boy. Excuse the interruption, Mr. Showers. Now, what were we saying?
How long have you had that soda fountain?
Oh, quite a long time.
Oh, not this one, Uncle Mort. Don't you remember? You paid $3,000 for it right after the first of the year.
Oh.
$3,000, eh?
Yeah. Isn't it lucky I have my little nephew here to remind me?
Say, do you want me to help you in case you forget anything else, Unc?
No, Leroy. Why don't you have some more nice ice cream? You're a growing boy, and you need the vitamins.
Well, thanks, but I'll have to wait a little while before I can eat any more. I'll just tag along with you.
Oh, that'll be Ducky. Yeah, Donald Ducky. Now, what is your next question, Mr. Showers?
How about these other fixtures? The cigar counter, the perfume displays, and these glass cabinets?
Oh, well, to tell the truth, they're new, too. Yes, to tell the truth. The bill for them came to $4,400.
Well, that takes care of the fixtures. How about the merchandise? Have you got an inventory?
What's an inventory, Unc? Something you invent?
Leroy, please. I have enough headaches as it is. An inventory is a list of all the things a drugstore has that are just as good as the things folks come in for that you're out of.
Yes, I suppose you took one last month.
I suppose we did. I'll have to ask the cashier. Oh, Miss Capstaff?
Yes?
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. Your little nephew was just in here looking for you. Did you see him? Oh, of course you must have seen him, because here he is right beside you. Hello, Leroy.
Miss Capstaff, would you please bring out the drug inventory we made last month?
Yeah, and don't forget the one for cigars and candy and hardware and paint and powder, Unc.
Oh, yes, I was forgetting them, wasn't I? Bring them all here, Miss Capstaff.
All righty. I'll be right back. I know exactly where they are, either in a safe or filed away or behind a prescription counter.
While we're waiting, don't forget to tell the man about the big refrigerator we have downstairs and that new dishwasher in the kitchen.
Yeah, keep it up, Leroy, and you're going to be the new dishwasher in the kitchen. Oh, yes, Mr. Showers, I'd forgotten about them. You see, they set us back somewhere in the neighborhood of...
$837.21.
Well, the boy has an uncanny knack for figures. He'll probably turn out to be an accountant when he grows up.
If he grows up. Oh, well, here comes Miss Capstack, back with the inventories.
Oh, here we are, Mr. Gildersleeve. I also found a list of all the merchandise we bought since the inventory was taken. Do you want that, too?
Oh, yes, you might as well. Here you are, Mr. Showers. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
There's a matter of goodwill and outstanding accounts.
Oh, gee, we got a lot of goodwill on account of we got so many outstanding accounts.
Yep. Leroy, that'll be all. Not another word out of you or...
I won't say anything, Unc.
I should judge that goodwill was worth about $1,500. $2,000. And our accounts receivable.
Oh, I was talking to Mr. Fish, the bookkeeper, about them only yesterday, and he says that they amount to around 1,000, and he thinks that if you...
Thank you, Miss Capstaff. That'll be all.
Oh, are you sure there's nothing else?
No, Miss Capstaff, you've done enough.
Oh, thank you.
Now, Mr. Showers, have you got all the information you want?
Yes, according to my figures, the valuation on this property will run to about $28,500.
Oh, $28,500. Jumping jelly beans. How much of a tax will we have to pay on that?
I might as well confess, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'm not the tax assessor.
What? You're not? Then why did you say you were?
I didn't. You just got that notion all by yourself. You see, I figured I could get a pretty low, honest valuation on this store if I let you go ahead assuming that I was.
But then who are you?
I'm an appraiser hired by the city drug chain. They're going to make you an offer to buy this place based on the figures I just got.
Oh, gee, Unc, isn't that wonderful?
Yes, my boy. I hope you've learned your lesson from this. Honesty always pays, Leroy.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. But right now, let me remind you, mothers and housewives, that these days call for energy. Every one of us is working harder than ever. That's why the energy-producing foods are so important. Foods like Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. You see, Parquet margarine is one of the best energy foods you can serve. It helps to refuel the body and replace energy used up in hard work or play. What's more, wholesome, nourishing Parquet margarine is a dependable year-round source of vitamin A. Yes, every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of this important vitamin. Now, of course, food value is mighty important, but flavor is important, too. Well, Parquet margarine is outstanding on both scores. Yes, whether you use Parquet margarine as a spread for bread, a flavor shortening for baking, or for pan frying, you'll find it has a luscious, tempting flavor your family's sure to like. Best of all, Parquet margarine is economical. It can save you money every day. So why not try it? Kraft's delicious economical margarine called Parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y.
Well, we certainly put that deal across, didn't I, Unc?
Yes. Leroy, and now that all I have to worry about is where to invest that money again.
Oh, no, you don't, Uncle Moore. I know just where it'll be safest and do the most good.
Oh, where's that, Leroy?
Good old United States defense bonds.
Oh, of course. Uncle Sam can put to work every dollar we can spare. Hey, good night, folks.
Be with us again next week at the same time for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents
the Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. And now let's visit our friend, the Great Gildersleeve, who's at the Bundles for Blue Jackets Bazaar, preparing to do his bit by acting as the barker at the booth where the pretty girls are going to sell kisses.
Well, so this is my booth, eh? You know, Marjorie, I think it's going to be fun selling kisses.
This is the first time I've heard of it, Uncle Mort. Gee, who are you going to sell your kisses to?
Uncle Mort isn't going to do the kissing, Leroy.
I thought I was wrong about that.
Yes. There are going to be a dozen beautiful young ladies to do the work, Leroy. Incidentally, Margie, to be a good salesman, a fellow should know about what he's talking about, you know. Now, don't you think that... No, I guess free samples are out.
Yes. Gee, why spend $1 for a wet smack when you can get just as daffy on a dime's worth of taffy?
Yeah.
You know, Uncle Mort, that wasn't a bad idea of Leroy, about you kissing any of the ladies. We could charge $1 apiece.
No, my dear.
Why not, Uncle?
Because I'd pay $1 myself, not to kiss the type of woman who would pay $1 to kiss me.
Oh, Miss Marge, I got your lemonade stand all fixed up for you. But if we get the big crowd, I don't think 3 lemons is going to be enough.
Well, you better get some more, Bertie. They're going to open the doors in about an hour, and we're expecting a lot of people.
Oh, yes. All the gentlemen in town want to patronize Mr. Gildersleeve's osculation station.
Yeah, they do, huh?
Yes, sir. They'll be buzzing around that kiss booth till them poor girls is all puckered out.
Yeah.
And all the ladies going to line up at that yogi man's tent to have their fortunes told.
Oh, you mean Yogi Swamahandra? Oh, Penny Banks met him in New York, and he's marvelous. We're counting on him as our main attraction. Oh, there's Penny. Oh, Penny!
Oh, yeah.
Stop now, Marge. I just had the most terrible news. I don't know what to do. Yogi Swamahandra's missed his plane connections and won't be here in time.
A fine fortune teller. Why didn't he look in his crystal ball, see that he was going to miss the plane, and then see that he didn't?
Well, we've depended on the Yogi as our big money maker.
Well, why don't you get a substitute?
Leroy, do you think that yogis grow on bushes?
I don't know. What is a yogi?
A yogi is a man who tells you about your past and future for a present. Penny, isn't there any other one floating around who can pinch hit for this man?
No, I don't know of any.
Well, why don't you get somebody to dress up and play the part?
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, that would be deceiving the people.
What do you think those fortune tellers do? When they look in a crystal ball, they don't see any newsreel, you know.
Sure, all you need is a smooth talker with a gift of gab, like Uncle Mort here.
Yes. No, wait a minute, young man.
Yes, Uncle, if you wore a costume and makeup and a beard.
People would still recognize me.
No, you could get away with it. It's dark in that tent.
But I wouldn't know what to say.
Well, we could help you by giving you the lowdown on the customers.
Lowdown? But suppose they got the lowdown on me.
They wouldn't if you changed your voice. Say yes, Uncle Mort.
Oh, what am I getting myself into? I'm no fortune teller. And something tells me that instead of being in front of a crystal ball, I'm going to find myself behind an 8-ball.
Well, what are we stopping here for, Unc? The costume place is 3 blocks down the street.
I know, Leroy, but read the sign.
Oh. Have your past, present, and future revealed by famous gypsy physique.
Yes. That's psychic, Leroy. Yes. Madame Rosalie, the gypsy who reveals all.
Gee, Gypsy Rosalie. I've heard of her.
Leroy, that's another one. I thought maybe I could pick up a few pointers on how to go about this fortune-telling business from this woman here.
Okay, let's go in.
No, Leroy, you'll have to wait here. I'll be right back.
You have come to consult Madame Rosalie, the great seeress who sees everything, knows everything, and tells everybody.
Yes. Why, yes. That is, if she isn't busy.
I shall look in the crystal ball and see. No, I am not.
I see. It's you, huh? You're free, huh?
No, it will be necessary to cross my palm with silver.
Oh, yes, of course. How much?
$1 for 3 questions. A past, a present, and a future.
All right, let me see.
Give it here quick.
Don't grab, lady.
Thank you. Now sit down and look deep into crystal ball.
All right, I'm looking. What next?
Alla canta umo holocadorazzoli.
Excuse me, would you mind repeating that?
Al canta umo holocadorazzoli.
That's what I thought you said. I'll have to remember that. What does it mean?
I am calling on the spirit of my forefathers.
Yeah, they must have been tobacco auctioneers then. Well, go right ahead, madam.
First for the past. I see not long ago trouble.
Yes.
There was smoke, a dark cloud behind you.
Oh, yes, Bertie burned the toast at breakfast. Yeah, very good.
Madame Rosalie, she never fails. And now for the present. You get into trouble because of man.
What kind of a man?
He is dark, also heavy.
Does he have a black mustache?
Sure, with black mustache. He gets you in trouble. You know him?
Yeah, that's me. I'm my own worst enemy. Now, what about the future?
Soon you will have loss, if not careful.
Loss.
Crystal balls say hanye, terra o ugly dura, blasto mex or blasto plomene.
What does that mean?
Watch out.
Well, thank you very much. Is that all?
Yes? Unless you wish to ask the $2 question.
I don't think I'll have the time. Let me see how late it is. By George, what did I do with my watch? I had it
For
right...
the time shift now?
No, see here, madam. Where's my watch?
How should I be knowing?
I thought you knew everything.
I do not bother with trifles.
This wasn't a trifle. It was an $80 watch.
Sir, are you accusing me?
Yes. Either I get my watch back or... Say, I'll bet you put it in that drawer.
No, you keep out of there.
Is that so? I'm going to have a look.
You stop that. It's none your business.
Well, what's this? Madam, you've got enough watches here to start a hot shop.
Oh.
And here's mine. Well, thank you. I guess I'll go now.
You heshni malokarando seba baninga troni todo afnu dali.
What does that mean? No, don't answer that. So long, madam, and don't take any wooden watches.
Not to you, Joe.
Well, a debutante. Oh, well. Hey, come on, Leroy.
Did you learn anything, Uncle Mort?
I'll say I did. When a gypsy says watch out, she means you're going to be out of watch.
What do you mean, Unc?
Well, you see this gold timepiece of mine?
Yeah?
Well, that gypsy tried to... Oh, my goodness, Leroy, this isn't my timepiece at all.
Oh, wait a minute, Uncle Mort. Where are you going?
I'm going back to get my watch from that gypsy woman.
But she hasn't got it, Unc.
What do you mean? How do you know?
You laid it down on the dining room table at lunchtime and left home without it.
Oh, this is a fine mess.
I mean, Maharaja. The bazaar is in full blast.
Not so fast, Leroy. Is everything all right with my costume? How about the turban?
Your laundry mark's showing.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, thanks. How about this beard?
Gee, your best friends won't tell you. From a Hindu, I mean.
Shh. There's Penny and Marjorie and Bertie. Let's see if we can fool them, huh? You pretend I'm the real yogi.
All right. Hey, Penny, this gentleman was outside and said he wanted to see you. This is Miss Banks, Mr. Yogi.
Greetings, Mem Sahib. 1,000 pardons if I'm late.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you look cute.
What's the... I'll never get away with this.
Oh, yes, you can, Mr. Gildersleeve. Oh, sure, Uncle. You look just like you stepped out of Kipling. Doesn't he, Bertie?
That's right. I'd say he's been Kipling all his life.
People are waiting to have their fortunes told, Mr. Gildersleeve. Now, here's what we'll do. Marge, you sell tickets.
Okay.
And Bertie, you and I will spot the customers and tell Leroy their names and all about them.
Yes, ma'am. I knows the lowdown on the high-ups.
And then, Leroy, you go round to the back of the tent. There's a hole there, and you whisper the information to your uncle.
Well, how'll I know when Leroy's there?
Suppose I knock 3 times.
On a canvas tent? That's like knocking on a wet sponge. How about whistling something, huh?
That's a good idea. What'll I whistle?
How about something boogie-woogie?
Yes. No, Bertie. Spare me the hot licks. Why not something Indian?
Oh, like by the waters of the Minnetonka?
No, Marjorie. East Indian, like pale hands I love beside the Shalimar.
Wouldn't you rather hear deep in the heart of Texas?
No, Leroy. Pale hands, not clap hands. That should be easy to remember. Just look at your hands. Oh, just look at your hands.
What's wrong with them, Unc?
You better wash them. They're not pale enough.
People are waiting, Mr. Gildersleeve. You better go in the tent and get started.
Wait a minute, girls. I'm getting cold feet.
Well, just fold them up underneath you and sit on them, Uncle. Now, in you go. Hurry
All
up.
right, if you insist.
Careful there, Stoop.
Leroy, what did you call me?
Stoop, Uncle. You'll knock your turban off.
Oh, yes, of course. I thought you... Well, never mind what I thought you said.
just get comfortable in there, Uncle Morton. We'll start sending in the victims.
All right, whenever you're ready, just shoot the gulls to me, gals. Now, let me see. How do you do this, Mahatma Gildersleeve? Oh, they must be ready to start. Where's that hole in the canvas? Yeah, this must be it. Is that you, Leroy?
It ain't Carmen Lombardo. Get set now, Unc. You're about to tell your first fortune.
Believe me, I'd give a fortune to get out of here. Who is it?
It's some man that none of us knows.
Oh, this is going to be one of my bad days. Can't you stall him off?
They tried, but no soap. So you gotta take him first.
Well, I'll do my best. How do I look?
Your laundry marker's showing again.
If...
Get back there. Here he comes.
I wish I had a mirror in here. Greetings and salutations, Sahib.
Hello.
You have come to consult Yogi Swamahandra, the king of the Hindu mystics, no?
No.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't? Oh, well, then why did you come here?
To ask you about Alice Higgins and Mrs. Belmont Diversey and Marie King.
What about them, Sahib?
As if you didn't know.
As if I do. Come, sir. If you care to gaze in the crystal ball, maybe I can locate these people.
They sent me to locate you, Andrews.
Andrews? You are making some mistake. Yes, I am the Yogi Swamahandra.
Sure, I know that. Yogi Swamahandra, alias William Andrews, alias Walter Bunker, alias Louis the Frost, alias Pete Brown.
Who, me?
Yes. And Detective Lieutenant Quinn from Chicago, where you wanted for jump at bail on bunco charges.
What?
You're also wanted in Idaho for obtaining money under false pretenses, in Baton Rouge for running a confidence game, and in Florida for selling rubber plants guaranteed to grow white sidewall tires.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a moment. Meantime, you mothers and wives of hearty eaters, does the way your food budget is going up ever get you down? If so, have you ever thought of serving parquet margarine, made by Kraft? Because using parquet margarine is one sure way to economize and please your family, too. You see, parquet margarine is different from the margarines you may have tried a few years back. Parquet is the delicious, wholesome margarine that's made by Kraft. And like all the famous Kraft foods, it's mighty good tasting. But there's no need to take my word for it. Parquet costs so little, why not buy a pound tomorrow and try parquet yourself? I'll bet you agree parquet's delicate, appetizing flavor is pretty hard to beat. Then, too, parquet margarine is a nourishing, wholesome food. It's one of the best energy foods you can serve. And to make it even better for you, Kraft adds vitamin A to parquet margarine. 9,000 units to every pound. So give the food budget a break. Order delicious parquet margarine tomorrow. Yes, ask your dealer for Parquet, Parkay. Parquet, the delicious margarine made by Kraft. Now back to the great Gildersleeve, who suddenly found himself a much-wanted man by the police of half a dozen cities.
Now, that isn't fair.
Just a second. Hold it. Quiet, please.
Quiet, Leroy.
I don't care what you people say. I came here to grab the yo guy, and he's going back to face trial.
Officer, you're making a mistake. This is my uncle, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Boy, that's a phony alias if I ever heard one.
See, you can see he isn't a yogi. Take your beard off again, Uncle.
Yeah. Never mind. I know he's a fake yo guy. His real name is Willie Andrews, and he's known as Willie the Tub.
Yep. I am not a tub. It's just the way this coat buttons. Yeah, I knew that when I started to fool folks, I'd get into trouble. My mama done told me.
But, Lieutenant Quinn, if you take him away now, Bundles the Blue Jackets will lose a lot of money. Why don't you wait till we close down tonight?
Well, okay, miss, okay. I'll let this grafter operate for the balance of the show, but I'll be on guard right outside the tent. Is that understood?
Excuse me. Do you mind if I go home? I'm expecting a bad headache.
Now, you stay right here, Uncle Mort.
Don't worry. We're going to get this all straightened out before the bazaar closes, Mr. Gildersleeve. Come on, let's let the yogi get to work. Come on, Lieutenant. Come on, Marjorie. Leroy.
Okay, I'm coming. Take it easy, Uncle Mort. Remember, keep a stiff upper turban.
How can I? I've been in hot water ever since I put on this Turkish towel.
We'll get you out of this, Uncle, if it takes us years.
Yeah, and it looks like it will, too.
Remember, Willie, no tricks now.
Oh, here we go again. Yes, Leroy. Who is it this time? The district attorney?
You're getting warm, Unc. It's your old pal, Judge Hooker.
What? Oh, well, that old crab wants his fortune told. This is the first pleasant thing that's happened to me all day. All right, Leroy, go on.
This where you come to have your hand read?
No, Sahib. The yogi, he does not work by the hand. He's the crystal ball player. Please to take a sit down, Judge.
Judge? Say, how do you know I'm a judge?
You're speaking to Yogi Swamahandra, queen of the Hindu mystics. The great soothsayer who sees all, knows all, and tells a little.
Well, that was certainly good, guessing my profession.
It's not necessary for me to guess, Judge Hooker.
What?
I know. Now it will be necessary to cross my palm with silver.
But I paid my dollar outside.
I have no contact with the outside. That is separate business. The silver, please, in form of a $5 bill.
I will not. No, sir, I will not.
How about that $5 bill you won at poker last night?
Say, how did you know that?
Shh, don't worry. I shall not tell a soul you were supposed to draw one card and you picked up two. Thank you very much, Sahib. Now look deep into the crystal ball.
Hey, what are you doing?
I am calling on the spirit of my forefathers.
But if you're going to tell my fortune, why don't you call on my forefathers?
Because, Sahib, I cannot bark.
What's that?
Silence, please. I am gazing into your past. It is mighty murky.
Well, what do you see?
I see you have a friend. A dark man with mustache.
Is he a fat fella?
No, not fat. Maybe a little plump. But on him, he's look good. He's a handsome dog, no?
I wouldn't call him handsome, but he's a dog, all right.
Enough. You are always abusing this friend fella, giving him the hot foot in his soul. That is bad. For you, I mean.
You think so?
Yes. Oui. Da. He said in my native tongue, Anyi Taragwale Dura Contester Comenase Roca Sol Blastumeg.
Is that so? Say, what does it mean?
It means be good to Gildersleeves or he give you coughing around, that's what.
Say, you're a whiz. I'd like to put you to one last test, though. Now, this is a hard one. What's this friend's first name?
I know it as well as I know my own. He's Throckmorton P.
That's absolutely right. Say, Yogi, elections are coming up pretty soon. Can you tell me if I'm going to win again?
Let me look in the crystal ball.
Yeah.
I can see the day of election.
You can?
Yeah, lots of voters, in and out, all day long.
Yes.
Now it is late, twilight. They close the polls.
I see, and then?
They're counting the votes.
Yes, go on.
It's getting dark. They're adding up totals.
I see. Well, what is it?
I think I see. No, I can't.
What's wrong? What's the trouble?
It's so dark I cannot read the results.
Hey, Uncle.
Leroy, stop yelling Uncle. By George, I'm ready to yell Uncle myself. I've told about more fortunes this afternoon than Dunn and Bradstreet.
Oh, cheer up, Uncle Mort. The next one is the last before dinner.
Well, all right. Who is it now?
Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell.
You, that mildewed old scorpion.
Yeah, you know all about her. I better duck now.
Yeah, I hope I can hold out. Madam, Yogi Swamahandra welcomes you.
Hello. First of all, Mr. Swami, or Yogi, or whatever you are, I want you to know that I don't believe in any of this nonsense.
Why, of course not, Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell.
Oh, you know my name. Who told you?
I am Yogi Swamahandra. I know everything.
Well, I wager that you don't know everything. What was my maiden name?
Excuse me, I got to look in the crystal ball. With this ball, I can even look that far back.
got it. Madam, before you were married, your name used to be McGillimcuddy. Babe McGillimcuddy.
All right. That's enough. You don't need to go on.
Your father, she had farm. Raised turnips.
Oh, now that's where you're wrong. They were beets.
Excuse, please. But beets look like turnips because this is not Technicolor crystal ball. I see many interesting things in your past, madam. Shall I tell you?
Oh, no. You know them, and so do I, so why bother?
You have led very interesting life, madam. Would make wonderful movie.
Do you think so, Yogi?
Sure. With title, How Green Was My Mr. Twitchell. Tell me, madam, you still do not believe in my powers?
No, I've changed my mind. You're positively uncanny. Now, sir, I have a number of problems, and I need your advice. Suppose I tell you all about them.
Some other time, Mrs. Twitchell. Now I got to go eat dinner.
Oh, of course. Why don't you come out to my house?
What? Oh, no, I got to relax. And besides, I've already promised Miss Forrester I got to have dinner at her house.
Oh, but I must talk to you some more. I know what. Oh, Marjorie!
What'd you do?
Yes, my dear. I've become so fascinated with the Yogi that I've insisted on his coming to dinner at my place. You must come, too, and bring your little brother and that uncle of yours, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Not him, not Gildersleeve. If he comes along, I'll not be there.
Oh, Yogi, I'm getting to like you more every minute. Very well. Let's get out of this tent. My car is at the curb.
Looks like we're stuck, Uncle.
Shh. I've got a reading out of my hand, Marjorie. I'm coming, Mrs. Twitchell.
Hey, wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Shh. I'm going out to dinner.
Not without me, you ain't.
Oh, Yogi, who is this gentleman?
Who? Oh, this. This is Mr. Quinn. He's trying to get me to do some work for the state. You might as well invite him to dinner, too, because he's going to come along anyway.
Thank you very much.
Now, Yogi, tell me something about India.
India?
Sure, Yogi, go ahead. You're an old Indian faker.
I am Indian fakir.
Well, there's no difference between the two, is there?
No more than between a flat foot and a flat head.
Gee, that's a hot one, Uncle Mort. Yeah, that's a hot one, Uncle Mort would have said.
Leroy, finish your spinach.
Oh, gee, I bet they don't eat spinach in India, do they, Yogi?
Where I come from, they stuff children with spinach, so they can't talk at dinner time.
That reminds me, I've been meaning to ask. What part of India did you come from, Yogi?
All of me.
No. I mean, where were you born?
Oh, born? Now I grab you. Where was I born? In my papa's house. My mama done told me. Well, I think it's time for me to return to the bazaar. Let me see. It's already 15 minutes coming to 8 o'clock.
Oh, what a beautiful gold watch. Where did you get it, Yogi?
It was given to me by Gypsy's woman. She thought I was a fellow named Joe. I must remember to mail it back to her.
Excuse me, Yogi.
Yes?
Your beard is coming off.
Oh, my goodness. How's that?
Oh, it's crooked. It points off to the left.
Oh, how's it now? Any better?
Yeah, but we better get out of here before it falls into your finger bowl.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mrs. Twitchell, but now I must make the grand scram.
Yes, and after he finishes tonight, we've got to go on a little trip, don't we, Yogi?
Oh, well, aren't you staying in town for a few days?
No. We have a little legal business to attend to in Chicago.
Oh, that's too bad.
Madame Twitchell, you said a mouthful.
Well, take good care of the Yogi on the trip.
Oh, sure. I won't let him out of my sight. In fact, I'm going to simply attach myself to him.
Oh, holy catfish.
What did you say, Yogi?
Nothing, madam. I was only praying to the holy catfish of the Ganges River. Goodbye, Mrs. Twitchell. Come on, everybody.
Oh, I hope this is over pretty soon. I'm plenty tired of tenting tonight on the old campground. Is that you, Leroy?
No, sir, this is Birdie.
What are you doing whistling Pale Hands? Where's Leroy?
It's late. He's gone home, and I'm on the swing shift.
Oh, I see. Well, who's next, Bertie?
There's a big gentleman with a dull red gleam in his eyes.
Huh?
Hey, y'all been telling some wife her husband's a philanthropist?
Bertie, I've told so many different people so many different stories, I don't know what I said. I better get out of here. Bertie, you go out and stall him a little while, huh?
Okay, but he ain't the type that stalls good.
Oh. Now, if I can crawl under the back of this tent and sneak out before that nosy detective from Chicago discovers it. Oh, hello, Lieutenant Quinn. What are you doing here?
Get back in there, Tubby, before I take you to Chicago in a box.
Yeah, Phil, I was only after a breath of fresh air.
You don't have to crawl out on your hands and knees after it. Now get back in there, Willie.
All right, and stop calling me Willie. Man.
Excuse me, but are you the man who calls himself Yogi Swamahandra?
Da. Have you got an appointment?
No, I haven't.
Then I can't read your fortune.
Okay, then I will read yours. Take a good look in the crystal ball, Yogi. What do you see?
I see nothing.
Well, I see something. I can see you tomorrow morning. You are waking up in a hospital bed.
What?
Your jaw's fractured. Both of your eyes are black. Your nose is in splints. And your ribs are barbecued.
Oh, my goodness. What are you talking about?
And my predictions come true, my friend, and I'll make sure.
Now, wait a minute. Who are you?
I just got into town on a late plane, and I find my reputation is ruined, and you've done it, you faker. I am the real Yogi Swamahandra.
Oh, you are. Well, I'm certainly glad to meet you.
No, you won't be. I'm going to give your face a retread job.
No, you don't. You keep away from me. Oh, Mr. Quinn. Oh, Mr. Quinn.
Hey, what's the idea?
Now, what are you up to?
Grab that man. There's your real Yogi.
Yeah?
Do your duty, officer.
Hey, come back here and fight.
Nuts to you, Joseph.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. But first, are those Lenten meals becoming a problem to you homemakers? I mean, are you finding it hard to make them as tasty and appetizing as your regular meals? Well, if you do, here's a hint that may be mighty helpful. Yes, it's this. You can add rich extra flavor to all kinds of dishes by using plenty of parquet margarine, made by Kraft. You see, the delicate, tempting flavor that makes parquet margarine a favorite spread for bread makes it grand for cooking, too. Parquet margarine is swell melted over hot vegetables. It's a real flavor shortening that adds delicate extra flavor to cookies and cakes and pie crust. Parquet makes pan-fried food tastier because it tastes so good itself. In fact, parquet margarine adds extra flavor to all kinds of dishes, and the extra zest that makes your family ask for more. Best of all, using lots of parquet margarine is no extravagance. When you find how little it costs, you'll certainly agree to that. And remember, parquet margarine is a highly nutritious energy food that's a reliable year-round food source of important vitamin A. So right now, put delicious parquet margarine at the top of tomorrow's shopping list. Remember, it's Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet, the margarine that's made by Kraft.
And there we were, Judge. Me and Willie the Tub locked in mortal combat. But I subdued him by sheer brute strength.
Well, seeing what you've done, I guess I'll have to forgive you for tricking me, Gildersleeve. Say, I just remembered. What did you do with my $5?
Oh, that. I did the best thing possible with it, Judge. I've given it to the American Red Cross.
Oh.
I hope everyone who's listening in will find an extra 5 spot to turn over to the Red Cross this week, like I did.
Huh?
If like you did, Judge. Good night.
Greg Gildersleeve has come to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Three's Company, who also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night, present each week at this time Harold Peary as the Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. Spring has come to a certain home in Summerfield. Spring with its bright colors and its new flowers. And here on his hands and knees in the hallway, tacking down a new bright-colored flowered carpet, is our friend, the Great Gildersleeve.
The moon shines bright, it's light all night, deep in the heart of Texas. I'm stuck, Leroy, because my boy, I'm short of carpet taxes.
Coyotes wine, take some of mine, deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, thank you, son. I'm almost done. Oh!
Gee, Unc, what did you do?
If I hit the wrong nail.
Here, let me finish it for you.
All right.
There we are.
Thanks, Leroy. You certainly knock with a knack. Oh, I'm tired. Let's sit down on the steps for a while, huh? Oh!
What's wrong, Unc?
I just discovered I wasn't out of taxes after all.
Say, what's going on out here? You getting the carpet down, Uncle Mort, or is it getting you down?
Yeah, hello, Marjorie. I had misplaced some tacks, and I just found them the hard way.
You better take them out of your pocket before you ruin your trousers.
Oh, this is really just an old pair, but I'll unload the tacks anyhow. Yeah, there. Oh, well, what do you know?
What is it, Unc?
Why, here's my lucky $50. So that's where it was. No wonder I haven't been getting the breaks lately. Yeah, but you watch. Things are going to be better now that I found it again.
Really, Uncle, you believe in the most childish superstitions.
Yeah.
Now, I'm different.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve, but here's a telegram that just came for you.
Oh, thank you, Bertie. Telegrams fascinate me. Well, listen to this. Dear Mr. Gildersleeve, congratulations. The Gentlemen's Fashion Guild of New York has selected you as one of the 10 best-dressed men in Summerfield. Well, signed J.C.B. Holchester, President.
Why, Uncle, that coin does bring you luck.
One of the 10 best-dressed men. By George, I can hardly believe it.
Neither can I, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hey, why not?
Well, just look at yourself in them old work clothes.
Huh?
It's a good thing there ain't no television to telegraph. Else they'd elect you the 10 worst-dressed men in town.
Bertie, it's 10 o'clock. Someone had better remind Uncle Mort of his appointment downtown. Do you know where he is?
Yes, me standing in front of the mirror in his room, no doubt, trying to decide which one of his neckties harmonizes best with the rest of his haberdasheries.
Oh, do you think so?
Indubitably. He's been that way ever since he got that telegram.
Oh, you mean the one from those fashion experts?
That's right. And making him one of the best press men in town is making me one of the worst worked women in town. I'm wearing myself down to a shadow.
Well, on you it doesn't show. In fact...
Good morning, Marjorie. Hello, Bertie. Say, how do I look? Does my cravat blend with the rest of my ensemble?
Yes, sir. But I was sure you was going to ask us if your tie harmonized with the remainder of your clothes.
Yes.
Uncle, you look as if you just stepped out of a bandbox.
Now, don't kid me, Marjorie. Whoever saw a bandbox big enough for me to step out of?
Where are you going, Uncle?
Well, Mr. Holchester's in town. He's invited me to meet him at the Ritz Summerfield.
Oh, you mean the men's clothes designer?
Yeah, I hope I look my best.
Oh, you do.
Oh, that must be Judge Hooker. Send him right in, Bertie. We're saving rubber by riding downtown in his car. Oh, good morning, Judge.
Hey, look at those duds. You'd look like a tailor's dummy, Gildersleeve. You didn't talk so much.
Yes. I'm sorry if my sartorial splendor disturbs you, Judge. But as one of the 10 best-dressed men in Summerfield...
Who, you? Who says so?
The Gentlemen's Fashion Guild of New York.
Never heard of them.
From the looks of your clothes, you've never even heard of gentlemen's fashions. As Mr. Holchester said to me this morning...
Who's Mr. Holchester?
Mr. Holchester is a famous style authority. He's the man who picked me and the other 9 snappiest dressers.
How'd you do it, over the telephone?
Yeah, over the telephone. He's stopping at the Ritz Summerfield. I'm going down to meet him.
Say, I'd like to meet him, too. You mind if I come along with you?
Not at all. That suit of yours should give Mr. Hallchester a good hearty laugh.
What's wrong with this suit?
Oh, nothing that a rock, a rope, and a river couldn't cure. Come on, Judge.
Mr. Gildersleeve, come in, come in.
Oh, this is a pleasure indeed, Mr. Hallchester. This is a friend of mine, Judge Horace Hooker, a close friend. Judge, I want you to know Mr. Hallchester.
Oh, everybody knows Mr. Hallchester. Glad to meet you, sir.
I'd like both of you to meet Mr. Leslie, one of New York's leading tailors. How do you do?
It's a pleasure.
Me too.
Mr. Leslie makes most of the clothing I design.
Oh.
Mr. Gildersleeve here was on our 10 best list for Summerfield.
Ah, yes. Excellent choice.
And I think he has a very good chance of making our first team.
You mean?
Yes, the 10 best-dressed men in America.
Oh, no. But then, why not? How do you make your selection?
Oh, on a number of counts. Taste, style, figure, carriage.
Gildy could win on the last two. He's got a figure like a carriage, all right.
Ignore him, Mr. Hallchester. He's just jealous. He's so skinny, his tailor has to put pads in his trousers so his knees will bag. Yeah, go on, sir.
Well, another big point is extent of wardrobe.
Oh.
Gildy should win that one, too. His wardrobe extends farther out than...
No, see here, Hooker.
Are nice clothes your hobby, sir?
Oh, yes. Mr. Leslie, it always has been. You see, I was elected the best-dressed fellow in my class at college after I introduced peg-top pants and yellow button shoes.
I'd like to see some of your ensembles, Mr. Gildersleeve. I suppose, of course, you have a country squire suit in Orkney twist.
What?
Orkney twist.
Oh.
You know, that new hand-woven suiting. Very popular in New York this season.
Yes.
Have you any of it with you, Leslie?
Only that bolt I was taking out to Hollywood. I'll bring it in.
He's a master with the needle, that Leslie.
Oh?
They're mad about him in Hollywood.
Gentlemen, probably the last bolt of Orkney twist left in America.
Pretty loud material, isn't it?
That just shows your lack of taste, Judge Hooker. That orange diagonal stripe is just what the chocolate background needs to set off the little blue dots.
Well, you're right, Mr. Gildersleeve. It's the rage.
Yeah. Mr. Leslie, I just had an idea. How would it be if you made me a suit out of that Orkney twist, huh?
Don't be foolish, Gildersleeve. How can they get a suit for you out of that bolt? Well, there can't be more than 12 or 13 yards there.
Yep. Hooker, I only require 5 yards of cloth. But if you keep putting in, you're just going to need 6 feet of dirt, and that's all. Well, gentlemen, what do you say?
I think it might be arranged.
Oh, splendid.
Gildy, are you sure you can afford it?
Afford? Why, the question of payment doesn't enter into this, Judge Hoople.
Hooker.
Thank you. If Mr. Gildersleeve is taken with this material and wishes a suit whipped up, he shall have it at no expense.
What? Oh, that's wonderful. No, I couldn't let you do a thing like that.
But, my dear man, we'd be delighted.
Oh, no, at least let me pay the cost of the material.
You needn't do anything of the sort.
But I insist.
Oh, well, all right, if it'll make you any happier.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
How much is the material?
Oh, why, speak of it. A mere nothing.
Huh?
What is it, Leslie?
Oh, it didn't cost us much. 35, I think.
$35? Why, that's very reasonable.
Yes, you require 5 yards, don't you?
Yeah.
5 yards at 35 a yard. That makes $175, doesn't it?
It does? If 9 goes into 7, oh, my goodness, it does.
Mr. Hallchester speaking.
Hello. This is the man who was just up there with Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Judge Rooker.
Hooker. Hooker, Mr. Hallchester. I wonder if you could make me a suit just like Gildersleeve?
You want the same suit?
Yeah, but not the same size.
Well, I thought you didn't like that material.
I didn't at first, but the colors sort of grow on you.
Well, I'm not sure we have enough of that Orkney twist.
But I don't take much, only about 2.5 yards. Say you'll do it, Mr. Hallchester. I'm not going to take a back seat to Gildersleeve, that bold Brummel with a big bumper.
Well, maybe.
You will? Oh, fine. When do you want to take my measurements?
How about tomorrow morning?
I'll be there. Meantime, I'll send a check right over to seal the bargain. Let me see, 2.5 yards, $35. $87.50, isn't it?
Yes, $87.50 for the cloth and the same for the tailoring. Comes to exactly $175.
What? Oh, the tailoring. Oh, I hadn't figured on that. Well, you didn't charge Gildersleeve anything for tailoring.
Oh, that's true. But Mr. Gildersleeve is a prominent man with a style following.
Poppycock, who'd ever be dumb enough to follow that big buffalo Styles?
Well, for one, you.
Oh, I never thought of that. Well, I'll send the check over this afternoon. And Mr. Hal Chester,
Yeah?
have you selected anyone as the best-dressed judge in town yet?
No.
Well, I hope that my buying this suit won't influence your decision.
Why, that old... Hey, Leslie.
Yeah, what is it, Chesty?
Another sucker just hooked himself.
Yeah, who?
That judge who was here with the fat chump. That makes 11 best-dressed boobs we catch in this town.
Chesty, I gotta hand it to you. This is the sweetest switch on the suit racket I ever heard of.
It sure is. Now, what size would you say we should get for the little squirt that just phoned?
He'd take about a 32 in a boy's suit.
Okay, then. Wire Joe to airmail us 132 boys and one big one. Say, 48 stub.
Okay.
And tell him to leave the seams open.
Sure. Say, what's the real name of this horse blanket material?
You mean Orkney Twist?
Yeah.
At the factory, it's known as backstretch burlap.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a moment. But first, I wonder how many of you good housewives indulge in that neighborly American pastime, the chat over the back fence. It's a swell way to swap cooking hints and recipes as well as other news. Well, we at Kraft certainly approve of the custom, because it's one way the news gets around about parquet margarine, the delicious spread for bread made by Kraft. You see, discovering a grand-tasting product like parquet margarine is the sort of thing you housewives like to brag a little about, because it's smart to be wisely thrifty these days. And using parquet margarine makes you just that. Yes, parquet margarine is a wholesome spread for bread that tastes mighty good, yet costs very little. Why, that family of yours is sure to love its delicate, satisfying flavor. What's more, it's a wonderfully nutritious food, one of the best energy foods you can serve, and a reliable food source of important vitamin A. So I'll bet you'll want to brag a little, too, when you discover the economy of parquet's delicious, wholesome goodness. But it's easy to find out. Tomorrow, just ask your dealer for parquet, Parkay, parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Now let's return to the great Gildersleeve, who is preparing to return to the Ritz Summerfield for his first fitting.
Hello, Pulteney. No, if you want my opinion as a style expert, you should wear a white mesh jacket. Yes, with a black bow tie. That's right. Oh, no trouble at all. Call me anytime you need sartorial guidance. Goodbye, Pulteney.
Isn't it just a little too early to be wearing a white mess jacket, Uncle?
No, not for Pulteney, my dear. He just got a job as a soda jerker. Well, I got to amble along now. By the way, what's the time?
Haven't you got your watch?
No, if I carry it in my vest pocket, the bulge might ruin my silhouette. Isn't that silly?
It certainly is.
Yeah, I read it in a fashion magazine. I wonder if Bertie has pressed my top coat yet. Oh, Bertie!
Yes, it's Mr. Gildersleeve. And I put a nice flower in the buttonhole, too.
Oh, thanks. A geranium. Well, that's better than no flower at all, or is it?
My, Mr. Gildersleeve, it sure is a chore valeting for you.
Huh?
But when I sees you strutting down the street, I nudges myself and I says, Bertie Lee Coggins, you may work hard, but the result is worth the effort.
Oh, thank you, Bertie. And just to show my appreciation, here, you can have back the geranium.
For me? Well, thank you.
Hi, Unc. Say, did you see the big write-up about you in the paper?
You mean all about Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, the well-known businessman being selected by a famous New York fashion designer as one of the best-dressed men not only in Summerfield, but possibly in the entire country?
Yeah, that was it.
No, I didn't see it.
Then how do you know all about it, Uncle?
Well, one of the reporters on the paper happened to be talking to me on the telephone, and I guess my clothes just sort of crept into the conversation.
Was that why you was trying to call the newspaper all morning?
If no, Bertie, I was it. Has anybody got the time?
Yeah, it's 1:10.
Oh, I'll have to hurry right down and try on that new suit Mr. Hal Chester designed for me. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I know it's going to look nice on you, Uncle.
Yes, and lots of luck, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, I hope you have a perfect fit, Unc.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, I see what you mean.
Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, send him right up.
Okay, let's trot out that 48 stub.
I got it. Looks too big. Probably fit him like the skin on a raisin.
Well, then you better do a good alteration job. Now, watch your step. And remember, you ain't back in a tailor shop at Leavenworth, or else you will be. Oh, come in, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Mr. Alchester. Hello, Mr. Leslie. I hope I haven't put you two gentlemen to a lot of trouble.
Oh, no, Mr. Leslie's a very fast worker.
Oh.
Why, he's practically made that suit fly.
Oh, how nice. Could I try it on now, please?
Of course. Just slip out of your coat.
Yeah.
Now, slide into this one.
Thanks. I can hardly wait.
There. Now, button it.
All
right. What do you think, Mr. Leslie?
It fits him just like the skin on a grape.
Oh.
Yes, you're going to get a lot of comments on that coat.
Don't you think it's a little too roomy?
Well, for some people, maybe, but not for you.
Oh.
You're the type that can stand a little room.
Oh, can I? Well, what do you think of the sleeves? Are they wearing sleeves over the knuckles this year?
Well, not quite. They should be taken in.
Oh. And what about the lapels? If I move my head, the points tickle my ears.
Well, they should be taken in, too.
Oh. And the way it droops, I mean drapes in front, I can't tell whether it's a loose sack suit or a tight double-breaster.
Well, in that case, you should be taken in.
I hope I'm not giving you too much trouble, Mr. Leslie.
Oh, no, not at all. When I sized you up, I must have been using a rubber tape measure.
Oh, very good.
Now, if you're ready to try on the trousers, Mr. Gildersleeve, here they are. Just step into the next room.
The trousers. All right, thank you. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Oh, brother.
Gee, that's the worst-looking botch yet. I don't know how I'm going to fix that coat up.
Now, don't worry. All we got to do is send to the factory for a 44 long.
Yeah?
And when it comes in, use the back of this one and the front of the new one.
What do you mean?
Well, this guy's got a tricky shape. He's a 48 stub in the back and a 44 long in the front.
Okay, but aren't we taking a little loss that way?
So what? These suits only cost us $9.75 wholesale.
I know, but why should we... Here he comes. Whatever you do, don't let him get a look at himself in the mirror. He'll jump out the window.
I'm afraid these trousers are a trifle too tight.
Holy smoke, you gave him Judge Booker's pants.
Come in. Come in.
Yeah.
I know, Mr. Gildersleeve. In fact, I'm a bit disappointed with the way the whole suit has come out.
Oh.
So I'm going to have Mr. Leslie recut the entire garment.
Oh, say, I don't want you to go to all that trouble for nothing.
Well, let's not say for nothing. Say for a slight alteration fee of $9.75.
Oh, well, that's awfully nice of you.
Oh, don't mention it. I always welcome the opportunity to make a little change whenever I can.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Is Mr. Gildersleeve home?
Yes'm, and who is it to see him?
I am.
Excuse me, but who's you?
Mrs. Salisbury Twitchell.
Oh, the Mrs. Twitchell. Well, come right in and rest your umbrella.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I have the honor to announce the arrival of Mrs. Strawberry Twitchell.
Who? Well, I wonder what that old... Mrs. Twitchell. I was just saying, I wonder what that old friend wanted. Will you have a chair, Mrs. Twitchell?
That isn't what I wanted, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Huh?
I'll explain my visit simply so you can grasp it without too much of a struggle.
Oh, thanks.
Mr. Hopalong Cassidy, the movie star, arrives in Summerfield in 2 hours to aid our big defense bond drive.
He does? Why, he's my favorite movie star. I'd like to meet him.
You will have that opportunity. One of the members of my welcoming committee dropped some milk on his foot and cannot attend.
Why should dropping a little milk on his foot keep him away?
If I must go into detail, he's got a broken toe. The milk was condensed in cans and in a case. Therefore, Mr. Gildersleeve, in order that we are not faced with the situation of a welcoming committee consisting of 13 members, will you join us?
Yes, gladly. Incidentally, whatever made you think of little me?
Well, it was that story in the paper regarding your selection as one of the best-dressed men in town. Newspapers exaggerate so, don't they?
Oh, well, if you mean this old smoking jacket, well, don't worry. You'll really be bowled over when you see my appearance at the station.
Mr. Cassidy's train arrives at 5:52.
5:52.
Now, please try to be there on time. And if any photographs are taken, kindly refrain from waving your handkerchief at the cameraman. Goodbye.
Gee, Uncle Mort, I couldn't help listening. Hop along Cassidy. That's Bill Boyd.
Yeah.
Can I come along and see him, huh? Can I?
Why not? I know why not. I have to stop at the hotel first and change into my new Orkney Twist ensemble.
But you aren't supposed to pick it up until tomorrow morning.
Well, if they promise it for then, it's essential to be all ready now. And I needed to impress Hopalong Twitchell and Mrs. vice versa.
Well, why can't I just come along with you, huh?
Oh, I guess you can at that, if you wait downstairs in the lobby. Come on.
Coat fits all right, Mr. Halchester. But don't you think the style is a little too juvenile for me?
Oh, not at all, Judge Snooker.
Hooker, sir.
Pardon me. No, I purposely designed that suit along boyish lines to bring out the Mickey Rooney in you.
Oh, yes. Now, I hadn't pictured myself that way lately.
Oh, you're the Mickey type, all right.
With this suit, I sort of feel like I should get a free baseball bat. For the price I paid, you should throw in a pitcher from the Dodgers.
Excuse me. Yes? Who's on his way up? Mr. Gildersleeve.
Huh?
Thanks.
Did I hear you say Gildersleeve is on his way up here?
You heard the man.
Oh, he mustn't find me here. I'm trying to surprise him. Can't I hide someplace until he leaves?
Why, yes, right in the next room.
Oh, thank you. Let me know. Let me know when he's gone.
Hey, what's Fatso doing coming around now? He isn't due till tomorrow. By then, we should be on our way to Florida.
Oh, he don't worry me. But there's a guy from the Better Business Bureau waiting in the lobby.
Uh-oh. Let's get out of here.
Now, take it easy. We got our bags all packed. All we got to do is take an earlier train. Where's that timetable?
Here, I got it marked. The streamliner leaving in 30 minutes. Can we make it?
Yeah. Only what are we going to do with that judgy in there?
Or Pudgy out there.
Shh. Now hide the judge's trousers in your suitcase. We'll work the old pants trick on both of them. Enter, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, I hope you'll excuse me for coming so early, but I wonder if I could get my suit now.
Oh, of course, Mr. Gildersleeve. Only first, there's one little detail.
Oh, yes.
We'd like to compare the measurements of the trousers you're wearing with the new ones.
Of course.
Would you mind taking them off?
Oh, not at all. You don't know how nice it is of you to do this for me. Yeah, here you are.
Thank you. Now, if you'll kindly wait in the next room.
Oh, anything to oblige.
Just make yourself comfortable in there.
Don't worry, I will. Deep in the... Judge Hooker! What are you doing hiding in the corner and without your pants?
Same thing as you are. Being fitted for one of those Orkney twisters.
Oh, getting a suit behind my back, eh? That's pretty low, Judge. And by George, I'm going to complain. Mr. Howchester, Mr. Leslie, that's peculiar. They're not here.
Not only that, their bags and clothing aren't here either.
What?
Hey, I don't see my pants anywhere.
My pants are gone, too. Yeah, this is going to be one of my bad days.
Now, don't get in a panic, Gildy. Maybe they just stepped out into the hall. Come on, let's look.
Yeah, let's look in the hall.
Well, you go first, Gildy.
Okay, you think it's going to be all right?
No, it isn't all right.
Judge, there's something awfully funny looking around here, and I don't mean us.
How about phoning downstairs?
No, I can't. The telephone wires have been cut. Look.
No question about it then. They were crooks, all right.
Yes.
Fine people you introduced me to, Gildersleeve.
Yes, and a fine judge you are, Hooker. You can't even recognize a crook when he steals your own pants.
Oh, my goodness, my pocketbook was in my trousers.
It was? Well, they never get mine. Look, I always keep it in my coat. The old jumping jeeps, they did get my lucky $50. What's that?
Hear that?
Huh?
Maybe it's all just a joke.
Why, of course.
Yeah, that's it. Come on in, boys.
Yes, come on in. If Leroy, what are you doing here?
Gee, I'm glad to see you, Unc. I was waiting in the lobby, and once the Howchester came down and checked out, I didn't know what to think.
Checked out?
Where'd he go?
When he passed me, he was telling another man they'd have to go like 60 if they wanted to catch the Florida train. Say, where are your pants?
On their way to Florida. Judge, we've got to stop them before they pull out of town.
How? We can't dash down to the station in our shorts?
Couldn't we pretend we're running in a marathon race?
Not me, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I got an idea, Unc. Just take the blankets off this bed, wrap one around each of you, and go to the station that way.
Take the blankets. You're a bright boy, Leroy.
But we'd never get past the lobby.
Well, how about sneaking down the fire escape? There's a taxi stand right below.
A taxi. That's it. Come on, Hooker. Grab a blanket.
But we can't get away with this.
Sure we can. When we get to the railroad station, I'll pass you off as a couple of Indians looking for a Pullman reservation.
Stop! Wait for us!
It's no use, Gildy. We'll never see our pants again.
Yes, nor my lucky $50 either.
Well, what was lucky about it?
Say, Unc, you better be careful. Your blanket's dragging.
It is? Oh, goodness.
Yes, Gildy, you look like one of the 10 best-dressed beds in town.
Is that so? Why? Oh, hello, Mrs. Twitchell. Fancy meeting you here.
Don't speak to me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Just because we are here to welcome a cowboy star doesn't mean that you should come dressed as Sitting Bull.
I never did like her.
Come on, let's get out of here before it's too late.
It is too late. Hello, officer.
What are you guys doing running around here in blankets? Come on, get into the station master's office here before you attract a crowd.
But, officer, we were just chasing a couple of crooks who stole our pants. Oh, there they are. Well, Mr. Hal Chester and Mr. Leslie, so they got you too, huh?
Hello, Fatso. Hiya, Judge Crooker.
Hooker! Fine work, officer.
I don't know what you're talking about. One of these birds tried to pass a counterfeit coin at the ticket window.
But, officer, it wasn't mine. It belongs to this guy.
Who, me?
Is this yours, buddy?
A counterfeit? Oh, my goodness, it's my lucky $50.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. But right now, what makes good cooks good? You know, I think it's their sense of flavor. They've learned the knack of preparing good food because they thoroughly enjoy eating it. Well, that's probably why so many really good cooks use Parquet margarine these days. They've found that Parquet margarine's delicate, satisfying flavor is pretty hard to beat, and they certainly ought to know. You see, outstandingly good flavor is what makes Parquet margarine so different from old-time margarines. Yes, spread Parquet margarine on bread or toast or rolls, and one taste will tell you the big difference. And that goes for cooking, too. Parquet tastes so wonderfully good, it's a real flavor shortening for baking, and just about perfect for pan frying. But flavor isn't the whole story. Parquet margarine is a wholesome, highly nutritious food. It's one of the best energy foods you can serve. And if you're vitamin conscious, you'll be glad to know that every pound of Parquet contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. So why not take a hint from the thousands of good cooks who use Parquet margarine and try a pound or two yourself? Yes, tomorrow, sure. Ask your food dealer for Parquet, Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Sorry, but our time's up. Good night, folks.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company and inviting you to be with us again next week at the same time for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.